Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
good.
good. It's Lorraine. How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Thanks, Lorraine, for
You're
setting this up
welcome.
for us.
No problem. Mr. Carroll, do you need me to assist with moving over the attendees for you?
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Moving him. Hey, Mark, I no moving him over. I'm not sure what that means.
So right now, some of them are coming in as attendees.
Okay, I will need that.
Okay.
And then
And
will you?
go
And
ahead.
then you'll make me the host as we get started. And
You
so
actually popped in as the host.
I
So let
did.
me let
Oh,
me
okay.
see if I can look at your profile.
Yeah. Oh, there's Reese.
Do you see where you can look at the panel to see if folks raise their hand, Mr. Carroll?
I do. Yep.
Okay, well then you are set up as a co-host then. That's great.
Okay. I think so. I'm in participants. I have participants there, right? I have share screen and record.
Okay, perfect.
And then and I can see where there's panelists and attendees, but
Okay,
I see you as designated as the host, which is okay if I can share a screen.
do you want to try it real quick?
Yep. Let me see if I can do that. Perfect.
Like it's
yeah,
working?
great.
You guys see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, David, I will go ahead and mute my line, but I am
Okay.
right here, so if you need me, just speak up and I'll jump back on.
Okay. And let me ask this real quick. Are you recording, or it looks like it's recording right now, right? Recording to the cloud. Okay, great,
Yes,
great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
How you doing, Mark?
We're doing great. Things are well.
Yeah,
Busy, but good. How are you guys doing?
good.
good.
Hey, Martin, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you on that
Oh, that's
request.
okay.
I'll shoot you something tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I just thought, oh, maybe you would know.
Yeah, I've got a couple of folks.
Okay.
I thought that I was going to have lots of free time during this
Yeah,
COVID,
Yeah. Funny
me
how that
too.
didn't work
Yeah,
out.
and instead, I feel like I'm doing double work.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
I know.
everything takes longer too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same way.
Therese, do you go by Reese or Therese?
Hi, David.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think we're all. Do this maybe. There we go. Let me do this. Can I chat? Reese, can you hear me okay? Do this if you can. Wave your hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah. I think there's a delay, so I can't really tell, but I can hear now. So I think if we don't even have, we've got our full 4 that we need for the quorum, but I know that Leah Beth and others said that they were going to show up. So. Great. There's Leah Beth. Good afternoon, Vice Chair.
Hi.
How's the baby?
Oh, he's lovely.
Reese Martin. Great.
So we have a new member today, huh?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to look at her application?
I did not, but but I know her because I know her sister,
Oh,
Christina Adams. She works with us on the, hi Maria.
Hello.
So I think the main other person that said that they would be here was Tim. And I know because we're talking about these traffic boxes.
I think Tim was on vacation.
Yeah, but he was going to try to call in.
Oh, okay.
He said, or reach in because. There he is. Hey, Tim, are you in Kansas City? I don't know if he can hear me.
Hey, David, were you talking to me?
Yeah. Are you in
sorry.
Kansas? Are you in Kansas City?
In Minnesota right now.
Oh,
Yeah, we were in Kansas City driving through.
I saw those pictures of the Nelson Atkins.
Yeah, the outdoor was open. It was nice.
Yeah. All right. I think we have a quorum, and I think we have everybody there, and it's 5:45. So if everybody good with getting started? Anybody know of anybody else that was going to show up that isn't? No?
Not that I know of. I'm possibly Cheryl, maybe, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, why don't we get started? Debbie has asked me to state the time that we got started. So it is 5:46. And I am also going to do the roll call for Debbie's benefit. So when she writes this down. So David Carroll, I'm here. Leah Beth,
Here.
our new member, Reese Adams. You could just say you're here. I don't know if she can hear me. Oh. Well, for the record, Reese is on the call. I will say that.
Yep, here.
There you go. Great. Clarice Amber is not here. Martin,
Here.
Mark,
Yep, here.
Julie Parker is not here. Councilmember Liaison Cheryl Wink is not here. Tim Vaca.
Here.
Here. Christina Underhill.
Here.
Is here. Mark Mullis from the library is not here. And Maria DeAngelo.
Here.
Great. Thank you guys for doing that. This should be another short meeting, but we do have a couple of things that we wanted to go over. First, I don't know if everybody noticed, but we do have a new full-time member, Reese Adams, and Julie Parker has just joined us. And Julie is also moving from an alternate to a full-time member. So we have a full slate of members. The only thing we are missing in our group is an alternate member at this point. But it looks like everybody's here is now a voting member. Reese, I don't know if you wanted to say anything to the group. You don't have to with your first day, but maybe we could all, or we could just introduce ourselves, I guess. Does that sound good? So my name's David Carroll. I think you know I am the chair of the Cultural Arts Commission. And then Martin.
Yep, I'm Martin Gilmore, and a member of the Cultural Arts Commission.
Yeah. And Mark.
Mark Hessling. I've been a member now for just since the beginning of the year. I was the alternate last year, and they moved me up. So, and I do video stuff so.
Leah Beth.
I'm Leah Beth Pohl. I'm the vice chair, and I've been on the commission for, this is my second term, so 3 years now.
Okay. And then also on the call, we have city staff members. Maria, do you want to just?
Yes, hello. I'm the Director of Public Works. So we Public Works Department oversees everything basically out in the public right of way. So streets, sidewalks, traffic signals, signs, that sort of thing.
Great, thank you. And Christina?
Hey, I'm Christine Underhill. I am the Director for the Parks, Recreation, Library, and Golf Division.
Thank you. And Tim?
I am Tim Baca. I'm the Director of Programs at the Museum of Outdoor Arts, which is located inside the Englewood Civic Center.
And Julie?
Hi, I'm Julie Parker. I'm recently on the board as well, and I'm an art conservator and artist.
And Reese, I don't know if you...
Great, thank you. I turned off my video. For some reason, I'm having a hard time hearing with the video on. I will turn it on after this, but thank you for having me. I'm Reese Adams, new member and somewhat new to Englewood. Been here for 2 years. Previously spent 12 years in Las Vegas, and I'm excited to be part of this group.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, so first order of business. I don't know if you guys saw our minutes. Really the only thing that we had that was of substance was that we did the review of the cabinets and crosswalks, if you remember. And so it was just indicated that we unanimously supported the ones that we reviewed. And other than that, there wasn't much to it. If I could get somebody to make a motion to accept.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
And second.
I'll second it.
Great, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. So the minutes have been approved. Thank you all that. So to go back to our agenda today, what the first part of the agenda is we have 3 additional traffic boxes and 1 creative crosswalk to also approve. These weren't on our agenda for the last meeting simply because they had not been vetted by Public Works yet. So these are now vetted by Public Works. And I believe, and Maria, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that 2 of these, and maybe you know as well, Tim, are scheduled to be replaced, but they're not scheduled to be replaced for another 2 years. And so I think when we originally talked about this and had this in the guidelines, we talked about a 3-year lifespan. And so Guy Norris from Public Works just kind of wanted to give us a heads up that if that was a concern for us, we may want to look at a different boxes. But since that's kind of Tim and I'm sorry, Maria, did you have anything to add?
No, I just think that I was going to say that's correct. That's my understanding as well.
So it's a 2-year window instead of a 3-year window?
Well, and the reason for this is they're going to replace these ones. The ones that we approved before were not going to be replaced, so they were fine. They just said within a 2-year time frame.
Wasn't it just going to be a 3-year window that those were going to be up anyway? Wasn't that what we had talked about?
At least. I think it was in at least 3 years, maybe more, but in this case, that's why Guy made that distinction to say, when we talked about 3 years, these probably may not make it to 3 years because they were probably going to be replaced. So yes, Mark, my sense is that we could kind of leave that up to Tim, since this is his project and they're paying for it. I don't know, Tim, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, so the 2 boxes you're referring to are Broadway and Dartmouth and Broadway and Yale.
Correct.
And I think 2 years is a good run. So I think we're going to go ahead and go for it. And, maybe we can replace them down the way if we need to, but I think it's good.
Great. And then we'll give an update on the Bloomberg grant, and then we'll talk about, there's a little bit, some work on the pop-up concerts that are kind of, that have been inspired by what we've done. So I'll share that and then see where we want to go with that, Martin. So just to go over for anybody else and maybe Reese as well, being new to this group, in October of 2019, City Council approved guidelines for artistic crosswalks. The steps that need to go through after that, there's an application process for people to apply, and then the Public Works approves where the boxes or the crosswalks have been requested to make sure they meet all the criteria. And then just to give everybody an update, it is our responsibility after that to review the artwork and make a recommendation back to either approve or reject the artwork. And how we are doing that in part is by these guidelines, that they shall not contain white, yellow, or red, which would be confused for traffic control devices. They don't have logos, text, or advertising. And there's no octagons, triangles, or shapes that can be confused with traffic control devices. So in large part, it opens it up quite broad for us, but those are the guidelines that we're under right now. So everybody remembers. Any questions on that? Great. So our first, oops, I got to the, well, I'll just show the art. This is, let me move this is the one on Broadway in Old Hampton, the northeast corner. Does everybody see that? Yeah. The artist is Brad Vieira. I don't know, Tim, do you want to say anything about the artist or anything?
Well, let's see. He is alumni from our design and build education program, and he's a really good artist. He kind of has a bit of a Disney aesthetic, and he's working on some cool things. But so we commissioned this from him, asked him to look at the the old Key Savings and Loan Bank, which was designed by Charles Deaton, architect. So it has obviously a significant impact in that area historically and still today. And also sort of to take a take on the mid-century modern architecture. So that's sort of what the background is. Obviously, it looks like you put the columbines in there, our state flowers. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Great. So, any other comments from anybody? All right. So, vote on this. Martin, yay or nay?
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah, it looks great.
Leah Beth?
Yeah, I really like it.
Julie? Julie said yes too. That's all right.
Sorry, I like it. I was on mute. Yes.
That's okay, just for the record. And then Reese?
Yes.
Great. So that's unanimous pass. This is our second traffic cabinet artistic wrap. Let me go down further. It's going to be, again, got supported. This is the old box. Over by Cafe 180 in that area. Don't understand that, where that's at. And here is the artwork here. I don't know, Tim, anything you want to say on that?
Sure. So obviously there's text in this one, and I know the last meeting we discussed text may be appropriate in like historical context. So in this case, the Tuileries was an old, used to be like a block away from there. And then also obviously the Gothic Theater, which is still there. This is a local artist who obviously has a bit of a different aesthetic from the last one, but focused on sort of the entertainment of that area.
This has been approved by Public Works with that red and yellow burst.
The box as to be used has been approved. It is our responsibility to ask those questions on the artwork. So
what do we think about those colors, that red and yellow burst in the middle of it? I mean, I like it, but is that going to be distracting? I don't know.
Maria, I would have the same question. Do you feel that violates those guidelines?
No, the guidelines are only for the crosswalks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really for the boxes, because we're more concerned about, a true crosswalk is about pedestrian safety and notifying drivers that there's potential for pedestrians there. So this is more kind of just fits into the sidelines, if you will, on the sidewalk.
Perfect.
So we probably wouldn't have a comment on it.
Okay, never mind then. I like it.
Great. So is there any other comments? No, we'll take a vote on this one. So I would vote to approve. Martin?
Yeah, vote to approve.
Mark?
Yeah, vote to approve.
Leah Beth?
Yep, it's freaky and I like it. On the record.
Leah Beth gives it the freaky vote, so that's good. Julie?
Yes.
And Reese?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, everyone. All right. We have one more box. This one is over by Calori what is that? Broadway and, what is that, Yale or something, Tim?
Yeah, I think that's right at
Yeah.
Yale.
Yeah. Cash checking. Whoa.
Cool.
So this, can everybody see that one?
Yeah.
My thing went a little weird, but.
Is that a picture of Kendall?
Kind of looks like Kendall. Huh? It's actually William Russell Green, or
Okay.
yeah. So we were using this as a gateway because it's like the borderline between Denver and Englewood at Yale. And so it's all about the gold rush and Little Dry Creek. So on his jacket, it actually has his name. So there are those bits of text.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Great. Any other comments on it? Nope. Okay, well, we'll take a vote then. I would vote to approve. Martin?
Vote to approve.
Mark?
Yes, vote to approve. I like that.
Leah Beth?
Yep.
Julie?
Yes, vote to approve.
And Reese?
Yes, love it.
Great. All right. So then, whoops. We've got one more here, which is a crosswalk. This is the crosswalk that would be on right over, well, actually we switched it, didn't we, Tim?
Yeah, it's actually going to be at Girard, so one block north on Girard and Broadway on the east side.
Does everybody know where that? So
Yeah.
where One Barrel is across the street and between the old lighting store and.
By the Spaceman mural.
Yes.
Yep.
As well. And can everybody see that? I guess my good enough
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And,
That's awesome.
and Maria, again, I would guess even though this has circles in it, and because of the colors and all of that, it doesn't violate the intent of the guidelines.
That's correct. We've evaluated that and we feel it meets the, it does not violate the intent of what the colors and the shapes, if you will.
Good. Great. Any other comments on this one? Okay. So we'll take one last vote and then I think we need to have a little bit more discussion on this one if we approve this as our, so I would move to approve that. Martin?
Yes, vote to approve.
Mark?
Yeah, vote to approve.
Leah Beth?
I approve.
Julie? Did you say yes? I didn't hear you there, just for the record.
Yes.
Julie said yes. And Reese?
Yes.
Great. So I don't know how, so we have this being the crosswalk that the Cultural Arts submitted and was the Forks and Spoons has gone through and actually been ordered. The material has been ordered by Public Works. Our material right now came in at about, with delivery costs, came in at $1,600. If you remember, and I will change this over here, our budget and what we put together for 2020, we had $7,000 approved, trying to figure out how much these crosswalks would cost. And right now, as of now, we've approved $1,618 has been spent. The crosswalk that Tim has, that was presented, and I think it might be maybe because of the design or something, Tim, but it seems that the cost has far exceeded even those kind of $6,000 to $7,000, $8,000 costs.
Is it the amount of
And then-
material?
What's that?
It's the amount of material.
I think it's
Those are vinyl, right?
yes.
Okay.
Amount of material and maybe the installation.
Yeah.
They've got
So
3 bids. Go ahead, Tim.
okay, I'll explain. So it's a thermoplastic that has to be ordered, and the company that we have to work with to order it requires a authorized vendor to install it. So in this case, the city cannot install it, which adds to the cost. So I think we have gotten 3 of 4 bids back, and the most reasonable one, as far as I can tell, is all in about 9,500. We had planned on 8, so it is a little over. Though it does look like the vinyl wraps are going to be slightly less than the 1,500. David, I found out they're going to be more like 1,300. So there's a little coverage there too.
Great. So let's assume that all in all, it's $1,500 more than Tim and his organization has budgeted. The question for us, and where I would like to make a motion, is that we, as the Cultural Arts Commission, would use our budget to cover the additional $1,500 that would be required to make that payment.
You want to
So-
take it out of what that little surplus we had left from last year?
Yeah. So we've got the 2020 is what we budgeted. So we have in our account, we have the 76, right? If we were to spend everything that we had budgeted, we'd still have 11,000 left over.
And you want to take this 15 out of that? That's 1,500 out of that?
Yes. That would be my proposal and motion to do that.
I second it.
Okay. Any other comment or concern with that?
No.
In some ways, we could almost, the block party is not going to happen this year. And we budgeted $1,000 for a chalk artist that is not going to be used as well, so.
Yeah.
No discussion. So can we get a vote to approve or deny this motion? Martin?
Sorry. Can I just ask a question real quick before you go there?
Yep.
So can you explain again why the much higher cost for this one? It was just materials and installation?
Correct. If I can summarize, Tim, and correct me if I'm wrong, the materials that we're using that are being used for this more colorful crosswalk requires people that have expertise to install it. And due to that, the cost of installation is going to be higher than we anticipated.
And so is this the only crosswalk that we were planning on doing this year? I mean, so we're going to use the entire budget for this one?
Actually, no. So there's a crosswalk. The crosswalk that we had intended for that $7,000 that you see on this budget here is the Forks and Spoons crosswalk, which is the one we approved last. And right now the cost of that is $1,600. And then I don't know, Maria, but my understanding is that Public Works will be able to install that one on their own. And so I'm guessing maybe some additional costs, but not nearly as much as the $7,000.
So does that mean that the Forks and Spoons one has to come out of that $7,000 too?
So the $7,000 was intended for the Forks and Spoons. This one that we're looking at today, Tim's organization, the Museum of Outdoor Arts, is going to contribute $8,000 to that, and can't really go above that in their budget, and it's gonna cost $9,500 possibly.
So I just trying to understand the numbers, and so we're really only out $1,500.
Correct.
For both of them. For the two.
No, 15. So we've already spent the $1,600 for ours. It would be an additional $1,500 added to cover the cost.
Okay.
Right now, unless there's still maybe because it hasn't been installed yet. there still may be additional costs that we might have to cover on our forks and spoons.
Okay.
But to help get this other one installed would be another $1,500 from our budget if we were okay with that. And I think what Mark was suggesting is we could almost take it out of that. Our expected surplus is that our projected surplus of this budget.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are we comfortable with Public Works placing the forks and spoons? Are we confident in the skills of them placing that vinyl? Not to be offensive, but I'm just asking, since the other one needs to be placed by a specific vendor, is the quality of the placement going to be equal? Or Maria, you want to talk to that maybe?
Sure. Yeah, so we do this regularly. So if you see a marked crosswalk in other areas, just the white lines, then that's what we're putting down is thermoplastic just in a white bar format. Okay. So instead we've ordered the spoons and forks. They're all white, which contributes to the lower cost. And then, so we're very able to install that. Our crew has also gone through and removed that top layer of asphalt, and we've repaved it. So we have a really nice smooth surface now for both of these to go down. So when you look at the design for the blue and purple one, we could install that as well. It's the same materials, but for whatever reason, the vendor thinks that should be done by some sort of professional. So, but we could easily install this as well. We just can't.
And we appreciate you guys redoing the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Great. Okay. So just for the record, if we can just say yay or nay on that. So,
Tim, did you have something to say?
Yeah, just a quick question for Maria, actually. I'm wondering if it would just maybe like void the warranty if the city were to install this. Is that the only issue you think?
I'd have to ask. I'm not sure why they're being so vehement about it. We can look into it and just ask them if that's the only downside.
Okay.
But I think they're just basically telling us outright no, that if we try and order it through them.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any more? Nope. So Martin, yay or nay on the motion?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Leah Beth?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And Reese?
Yes.
And mine is a yes as well. So unanimously passed. So great. Thank you all for that. We just have a couple of other things on the agenda to talk about. Just wanted to let everybody know, if you remember, gosh, I don't know, it's been probably 3 or 4 months, to help us with this project, with these crosswalks and such. We submitted a grant to the Bloomberg Foundation in New York. They had a program called the Asphalt Project, where they were supporting cities that had populations of less than 500,000. We did find out that we did not receive that grant. So that was a bummer. We would have been the smallest community in population size to receive it. With our 30,000, the next highest was 46,000. And some of the larger communities that did receive it, and you can go on their website to find out, was Kansas City did receive one of the grants, and there was I think it was Cincinnati, Ohio was also, and then there were some smaller towns throughout, but smaller in that they were in the 50 to 70,000 range. So I thought it was a good effort. I thought we were going to get it. Tim and I think both thought we were going to get it, but it just didn't happen this year. It does open up an opportunity for us to try again next year if they have this program. I think everybody with the where we're at right now is scrambling to understand what they're going to do with their foundation dollars as well. But so just wanted to share that. And then I know that we had talked a little bit about pop-up concerts a while back and whether that was a good idea to do it or not. And I think at that point, talking to Martin and all, we felt that it wasn't a good idea. And that was a couple months ago. I did want to share with everybody that inspired by our pop-ups that we had done the last 2 years, Atria Senior Living, the staff there was very excited about starting to do some pop-ups. And so they came to folks at the city with Chris Hargrove at in communications, and he thought with the backing of Atria that might be a good idea with the We've Got This campaign of reopening businesses, that pop-ups around the city might be a fun way to drive or to just kind of give some joy maybe to people in these business districts. We then talked to Tri-County Health, and they felt that they would be suitable as long as we followed some specific guidelines, primarily that the people were somewhere between 20 to 20 feet away from the musicians, and that everybody around there was social distancing and wearing masks. That said, Atria has some funding to move forward with this, and has a concert going on right now at Grow and Gather. It's a guitarist and a violin player, no singers. And they are in the garden 20 feet away from all the people that are eating there and enjoying the place. So I guess what I wanted to bring up and I'm sorry, Cheryl, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Did you have something?
Yeah, thanks, David. Has there been consideration about whether or not wind and brass instruments are excluded from the consideration of COVID pop-ups?
So there
So
has
not
been
breathing on each other, excessively.
Sure. So looking at the guidelines, we talked a lot about that at the guidelines from Denver that has, at least my understanding is still forbids singers and wind instruments. I don't know if you know more, Cheryl, or if Martin knows more about that.
That's my understanding is it's still not allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, all my gigs with wind instruments they're still very canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I just wondered if you knew something more. Thanks, David.
So to that point, all the bands that were being considered were more string instruments or percussion. So nothing that was wind. I will say Tri-County Health did believe that if we kept the 25 feet distance, that it may not be a concern.
Yeah, but then you don't want musicians blowing on each other. I mean, you're blowing. We don't want us breathing on each other either. I'm sorry, I said us, but yeah, that's a concern.
So we understood that, but we're not moving in that direction.
Thanks.
That was their advice, but still tried to stay with, was considering doing those. So what I think Chris and others, other of the city staff within the communications organization was wondering is if we were still willing to contribute our budgeted $3,000 to this effort, helping out with some of the band costs. I will say Atria has already paid for 3 performances. This one at Grow and Gather, one that is being talked about around City Center near Nixon's, and then a traveling, maybe Cheryl or Martin, what's the thing that you push together that makes noise?
An accordion?
Yeah. a band that, or a one person that has that to walk up and down Broadway. But I think there's an interest in doing more of those.
Would the city be then in charge of the planning and finding the artists and everything, or would we hand that to them and then we would just kind of fund it?
I think, to be honest, it's been really kind of loose right now. I mean, it's
Okay.
kind of, everybody's changing, you know, because they get, you know, we've backed off on on what kind of musicians, and it goes back and forth. But I think there was an interest, knowing what we had done the last 2 years. They said, "Are you guys still going to do that?" I shared our conversation about being concerned with where the musicians and the type of musicians, and maybe it wasn't the right time. And they said if we could follow those guidelines. I feel a little bit more comfortable after talking to Tri-County Health and their guidelines. They felt it was, you know, if done properly, it wasn't as concerning.
My concern is being able to enforce all those things in a pop-up concert type setting, and then what is the city's liability, and not, well, our commission, but the city's liability if for whatever reason that becomes a point of spread, right? That was sort of my hang up, is I just couldn't see how we could actually enforce that based on how we had done pop-up concerts before. You know, it's too much. It seemed like too much babysitting without enough people. We'd have to have a few of us there at the pop-up concert.
Some sort of barricade around them or something, right?
Yeah, or we'd have to purchase something like that, and then all these restrictions about wind instruments and singing, that's all fairly new. At the time we made that decision, we didn't know any of that. So I just said, let's not do it this year. So I mean, if we were to give funding to them and that became a problem, I don't know. That's my concern, I guess. I guess I don't want us to be responsible for being a point of spread. I guess that's my concern.
I have a question. I don't know if this is the place for it since we're talking specifically about the concerts, but you know, what about ideas for other sorts of art things that would be more socially distant, or maybe, you know, like just other alternative options? Because I have some ideas that I wanted to bring to the group anyway, for other types of stuff. And so just let me know when is the time to talk about that.
Okay. Let's, Julie, let's maybe talk about that right after this and see how people feel about this money or not. But I think people would be, you know, the city and the city staff that we've been talking to as well would be open to those ideas. To be honest, I mean, in some ways, I think it's nice that our efforts to do these pop-ups the last 2 years was what inspired this. It was just like, wow, those were cool. Can we do more of those? I told them our conversation. They said, well, maybe we could. So I think, to your point, if we gave them a new vision of what other things could look like pop-up, that may be something just as interesting. So,
well, and my concerns might be moot, since the city's already involved in it, right? It's already got the city involved in it, so I guess it doesn't much matter. So I guess I just wanted to make sure that I had said that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And again, I think everybody, I can tell you, this is the other ideas that have been put out, that if there were people they were trying to put them where people wouldn't gather, very much like we had done. They weren't promoting them ahead of time necessarily. They were promoting the idea, but not the actual concert.
Yeah.
So that there wouldn't be gatherings. Atria has these big round, I don't know, floor stickers, I'll call them, that they intended to, if there was a concert where it seemed like, or a venue where it seemed like people could gather, that they would measure those out, put those round ones there and say, this is where you need to stand. Don't get any closer than that, was the idea. But to your point, Martin, does that mean people will do it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I don't want to be a bad sport. I like the idea of it, and if it can be done safely, I'm for it. I was just concerned about that. I don't feel like it's a competition, so I don't mind supporting the concerts. It's I just was concerned about public safety. But if we've talked to Tri-County Health and there's been some kind of stipulations, then I guess it's probably fine.
Are they, David, are they looking for an answer from us right away, or?
I said I would bring it up, tonight and ask. I mean, I don't think there wasn't a sense that there was a timeline necessarily. No.
So my suggestion would be to table it, hear Julie's ideas between now and next meeting, maybe have some work done on whether those ideas are feasible and whether or not we should suggest those instead of the pop-up concerts, or if we should fund the concerts, or, which way we should go in that direction. Because if we approve that money being spent and then, Julie's got an awesome idea, maybe we would want to spend the money on that instead. So, I'd hate to promise it to someone before kind of exploring all of our options.
Okay. I'm amenable to that too. Any other discussion? So we'll just go back and my understanding is Atria has some funding to do these, 3 or 4 of these. And so to your point, maybe we let those happen, see what becomes of them. And then if they all come out safe, then say that the commission is open to supporting that. Yeah, fair. Okay. All right. Let me see if we have, I think that was on the agenda. Yep. So now would be a great time, Julie, if you want to, and we'll just go around and see if anybody has any other ideas that they want to add, and then any events, and then we'll be done.
Okay. I just wanted to mention one of the ideas. I'm involved with a puppetry group, the Rocky Mountain Puppetry Guild in Denver and the surrounding areas. But I've been involved with kind of large scale puppetry out, and I don't know, I keep having an idea of like, we talked about, actually when I interviewed for the commission, that, I had an interest in like activating public spaces. And I've seen this done really successfully with shadow puppetry on a much larger scale. So I don't know how applicable this would be in the COVID situation, but we could project on the side of a building or something instead of like in a smaller space, and maybe that would be helpful in like separating people. I also had the idea of having the guild is quite large, and I had the idea of like maybe having a walking trail, so you have different spots. I've seen a lot of interactive theater recently where they're going around to different locations, or it's more of a moving thing, so people are all congregated in one spot. So I kind of had visions of something along those lines too. So that's one thing, and that's my passion, is the shadow puppetry. But I was also reading an article in the New York Times recently, and they were talking about local artists in Connecticut or something. I can't remember exactly where it was, but they were actually putting art installations in their own yards, and people were driving around and looking at them. So I know we talked earlier in previous meetings about like interacting with the community of artists here in Englewood. And when I saw that idea, I thought, yeah, wouldn't that be a great thing to do? Not only promoting local artists, but it would be a way that people could see art from Englewood, in Englewood, but in a way that would be very safe, because those installations were intended to be drive-by sort of things. Not that I want to promote like burning gasoline, but like maybe they could go on their bikes or something. So those were the 2 ideas that I have kind of been burning a hole in my brain, as far as, I would love to see all of that stuff going on. And I just want to add also that anytime there's an accordion, I'm going to vote for that. So I think the strolling accordion guy, I want to just, say, yes, let's do that one too. So that's all I've got. If anybody else.
Great. Cheryl?
I had a question. Thank you, David. I have a question for Julie. How do you manage the sound for the projection of puppet shadows onto a large outdoor surface?
Okay, so in the projects that I've done in the past, there was like a sound system with a recorded track or a musician. In my own performances, I had kind of a hybrid combination of a live musician performing along with a recorded track. So there were a lot of sound effects and stuff that went along with the show, and that was all choreographed ahead of time. That would be a question. I'm not a musician, and that would be a question for that, whoever was organizing that part of it. Like, I'm assuming it would be some sort of setup like you would have on a stage with speakers, but it might depend on the location too. I was having visions of like shadows on the side of that, the white bank building that looks like a thing, it's cheese. We were just looking at it earlier on the traffic box. I would love to see shadows on that thing.
Good. Reese? I saw your hand up.
Yes. I wonder if there would be an opportunity to utilize Englewood High School. I think that they're doing something with their new field area to be able to project movies, but there would be sound systems available and obviously plenty of space on the field and in the bleachers.
That's a great idea.
So here's, I think if we look, I think I love all those ideas. And we could, if you want, we could maybe get together, maybe just Julie, Reese, myself, and anybody else. But what we've done in the past, considering what kind of monies we have, and that's how these projects kind of begin to pop up, is maybe we, with that kind of, what would that begin to look like in cost? And then could we fund it out of something, what we have left or what we're not going to do would be another area for that. And then if we feel we could fund it and move it forward, then, and everybody's agrees, then you would have a budget for it and we could all work together to make it happen. So that might be the next step, is kind of, I don't know, maybe it doesn't cost anything, but maybe it costs something. And then putting that together. And if we wanted to do that at the next meeting, we could look at, where we're at with that. Does that sound fair?
I just want to make sure, are you saying to me that I should look into some budgets for that and talk to you have it by the next meeting? Am I understanding correctly the process?
Yeah,
okay.
If we did that and then present that, and we could say, oh, we understand it's going to cost us, $3,000, let's say. And you and, I'm just making this up, but you say you, Reese, and Leah Beth are all going to work on it. And then we'd make a motion to whether that sounds reasonable based off of our resources and what we have,
okay.
And then move forward in that direction.
Could I talk to you offline just with questions
Yeah.
about how to set that up? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Maybe
I'll totally take that on.
Maybe the three of us can get together and we can kind of work out what that may look like.
Awesome.
If Reese wants to, and you and Julie.
Yeah,
Leah Beth?
I put something like that together, so I appreciate the advice, but I'd be happy to work on it.
That'd be great. Leah Beth?
I was going to suggest, because Reese had mentioned they might be showing movies in the lawn there, that it would be really cool to do like a pre-show with the shadow puppets and kind of a combo thing, because then the system will already be set up and you would just kind of have to come in and do your thing. So I think that'd be kind of cool, and we'd get some marketing out of it too. But
Nice.
I'm happy to work with you on anything you need.
Cool. Okay, well, I don't want to take any more of everybody's time, but I will definitely touch base with you guys offline and talk about that. I'm very excited.
I believe there's also a drive. Tony's putting together some kind of a drive-up movie projection somewhere too. So there's a couple of opportunities there. Great.
Cool.
All right. So to go back to our agenda real quick, does anybody want to talk about any upcoming events that they have. I guess none of us really have events anymore, do we? Yeah, Tim does.
Yeah, I'll just say Tuesday we have a SCFD free day, and I think we still have some tickets available. You still need to reserve a ticket, but if anyone knows anyone wants to come to the museum, it'll be free that day.
I did hear, just if I didn't mention that already, at our meeting with Tri-County Health, Tony did mention that the block party is not going to happen this year. I'm guessing that everybody kind of figured that out anyway, but my understanding is official that will not happen. So our participation will not be necessary this year. Bummer, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, serving beer was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good. Martin, you got anything?
Nothing.
No. Nothing
Nothing going on.
No events. Julie, you got any events you want to plug?
Not right now.
Reese, do you have any events you want to plug? All right.
I wish.
Staff choice. Maria, anything you want to share with us?
Quickly, we are planning to install the spoons and forks next week, late next week.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
So drive by, probably we're shooting for Wednesday, assuming that we get the materials in early next week.
Wow.
Great.
So maybe that leads to maybe I will try to put together a bit of a celebration idea that would be suitable, that maybe we could have in the parking lot of the bank and use that to socially distance ourselves big enough that we could, but still talk about it. Maybe we could get ourselves and Mayor Olson, somebody
I would love that.
to talk about all the great.
Don't forget to include Dana in that.
Yes. Christina, do you have anything you want to share?
No updates today. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And Mark?
Nothing specific, but just want to say I really like the designs tonight. We didn't get a chance to weigh in. I thought everything looked great. So yeah.
Cool. And Cheryl?
Thanks, David. Just one. Next Monday night for the City Council study session, we're going to hold an out of the usual format and have a panel discussion between industry experts, our Englewood Police team leadership on policing practices, on police practices, let's just say broadly. So I think it'll be we've had such amazing conversations so far. Chief Collins and Deputy Chief Watson have been really stellar. And so I think this is going to be another, productive iteration of discussion on this very current topic, in case any of you want to tune in. That's it. Thank you, David.
Great. Thank you so much. I think that's it, unless anybody has anything else pressing that they want to share.
No, thank you, everyone. I have to bow out to moderate another meeting now, but I just wanted to say thank you and goodbye, and I'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Hi, Julie.
So Debbie has asked me to verbally state the adjournment of our meeting. And so that is at 6:39. We'll adjourn. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Have a good night. Stay safe.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do I get out of here? Lorraine, did I do everything that we needed to do there? Think?
You did a great job, Mr. Carroll.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks, Reese. Oops. Cancel.